Hello everybody, good day to you. Welcome back. I am glad you guys are here. I know that I am super glad to be here. This video is the part 2. It's actually like the part 3 because I did a diag video on my second channel before we got started. I'll leave a link to that video down in this video's description. But anyway, so I guess this is part 2 or part 3. It's part 2 of actual repairs and third appearance of this 2008 GMC Sierra with a 6.6 DURAMAX engine. The last video, what we had done is fixed up and tested and diagnosed some electrical / charging system issues. We found that both the batteries were testing good using 2 testing methods. Found a little bit of a corrosion problem on the output wire for the alternator, so I installed a secondary output wire that runs over here to that battery. So now I've got one wire going to this battery, one wire going to that battery, and then both of these 2 batteries are connected through another series of wires. So effectively, it's I just added a charging system circuit to eliminate that resistance and charging issue. One of the primary issues on this truck was a massive coolant leak coming from the lower radiator hose where it connects to the radiator assembly over here on the passenger side. What we had found is that the O-ring inside of that hose had become flattened and was no longer sealing. Now, I tried to replace the O-ring in the last video, and as it turns out that there's a different style of hose assembly, which that's the new style there. This vehicle is equipped with the original hose, and unfortunately the O-ring replacement was not feasible because due to the hose size diameter of that little the little fitting right here, we weren't able to get the thing to go back onto the radiator. So in this video, we're gonna take on the arduous task of pulling this hose assembly out of the vehicle and replacing it with this new hose over here in order to seal up this silly little leak. So I think I'm gonna start from the top and work our way down to the water pump. So what I need to do is remove some of this air intake stuff so I can get to some of the smaller clamps on the bypass / surge tank hoses, and then we'll go down underneath of it with a creeper, get this thing disconnected from the water pump, and then try to dig this thing out from the chassis and get the new one replaced. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a frustrating yet very good video. Okay, so what I want to do, there's a clamp down here at the bottom of the surge tank. I need to get to that clamp for one of the outlet things on the hoses. So I have to pull this air filter out of here, and I think that there's going to be some bolts down at the bottom of it that hold this little bit of the shield thing into place here. So let me dig this guy out. I need a new one. That's pretty nasty. Yeah, there's a couple fasteners down here on this little assembly here. Or at the very least, just take the tubing off. Here, let's disconnect this mass airflow. Get rid of you. And then over here, noises. There's another clamp. Let's pull that guy out of there. You gonna come off? Yeah. Here she comes. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna take this whole tube out. Okay, I think what I'll do is leave the shield here and just unbolt the tubing from the back side of the shield, because there's nuts on the bottom of this this little plate right here, and I really don't feel like working a bunch of nuts and bolts at the same time. Another one down below. It's a little dark in there. Sorry. Tubes coming out. Set this aside. Now I can get to that clamp right there on the hose. See that guy? That's what I need to get a hold of. Look at here. I mentioned I had broken my hose clamp pliers, and I've been too lazy to order another set, and somebody sent me a new set. So I thank you for the replacement set of hose clamp pliers, because these are invaluable. Get on there. Get all the way on there. There we go. Slippage. Compressor powering down. Okay. Just wiggle that unit off right there. That's good. And I believe if we look down a little bit farther, right here on this hose, so you can see that's the other clamp for one of the other smaller bypass hoses. Let me get in here and dig this guy out. If I could lock it in, yep, that's good, just like that. So what I'll do is get underneath of that hose with a little screwdriver and pick it away from that metal line that it's attached to. There's some surface adhesion here. We need to break that bond. Work it around. There it goes. And we're leaking some. It's of no matter. We've got the thing disconnected. Okay. So now we're disconnected on 3 sections. Like I said, we've already got it removed from the radiator side right over here. It's just kind of hanging out right there right now. And the other 2 connections have been disconnected. So I think in order to get this to come out, I need to disconnect that little clamp right there on the frame rail, and then we need to go down below on a creeper and get this thing disconnected from the water pump, which I think I can access from the bottom side of the truck here. Okay, 13mm ratchet wrench. Let's go ahead and pull this bolt out, and that's gonna free up some slack on this cable and at least give you some space to maneuver a little bit. Okay, I can spin that out by hand. There she is. It's not much space, but it's kind of something, I suppose. Put you right down there. So now, we'll pull this back all the way. So I think we need to pull this whole hose assembly out through the wheel well right here. Come on, there. Yeah, it's gonna come out this way, I think. Somehow, some way. Alrighty. I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. Let's go around to the front side and get down below with a creeper and disconnect this hose from the water pump. Okay, hopping on our creeper. We're going down below, laying around on the job. Uh-oh, my light's dead. We're gonna take a look, following this hose upward. Right there's the water pump, and there is the clamp. See that clamp? Now, someone in all their wisdom decided to point that clamp right here at this fan shroud, and I am going to attempt to get in there and unclamp that clamp without pulling the shroud out. I've got a super low profile socket and a ratchet here, 8mm socket on it, and I'm thinking if I can just get that to go on, I should be able to get the clamp off here. Okay, ooh, did I get it? Nope, I did not. Tell me that's an 8. Yeah, it's 8. Okay. Here we go. We're getting it. It is turning. It's a slow and tedious process, but it is moving. And my ratchet just slipped off. And these little specialty tools are incredibly expensive. I think this socket set plus this mini ratchet was like $250. These right here are the moments when they kind of pay for themselves. Yeah, that's it. We get this guy loose and we can pull this lower hose off. I should be able to yank the thing out somehow. But yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, so I'm just kind of hanging out here, laying down the job, being one of those lazy mechanics. A few moments later, I'm pretty sure this clamp's coming loose. Like we should be loose enough to attempt to remove. Maybe not. We're living life a quarter turn at a time, or an eighth of a turn, something like that. It's coming out. Patience. This is where you just gotta have some patience. You know, folks ask me how I get patience or where it came from, or they comment that I am patient, and it's just what you got to do. I've learned. I used to try to shortcut things and get impatient, and I always found that it would cause more problems than it was worth. Sometimes you just got to take the time, because you'll never have time unless you take time. That applies to more than just fixing cars and stuff. You have to take the time. I don't even know if that's unclamping, to tell you the truth. Let me get a flat-bladed screwdriver and try to pry against that clamp and see what it does. I don't know if it's even turning. Sometimes those worm gear clamps can strip. Yeah, there it is. And if they strip, they'll just keep turning and turning, going back down. Okay, yeah, I'm behind it. Look at that. Now the next hurdle with that is going to be getting the hose to let go of the water pump, because there's that surface bond again. I'll try a pick. Go in there with a hose pick. Here we go. Let's see. We need this one, so we can grab it and hook it and kind of pull it. Now, it'd be nice to have this pick in the extended extra long version, but I do not have a super long one, so I'm gonna have to just do this with the short one here. No, it's not working. Now at some point this is going to start to come off and coolant's going to come raining down, and we're going to deal with that when we get there. Now, I could get impatient and just chop the thing off. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, I'm under it now, so I'll just walk this pick around. Easier said than done. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, the clamp's disconnected. Is it? All the way? Not really. But it is something I can pull on. Kinda. That was less than effective. I wonder if I can get it from the back side here. Maybe a little. Oh, okay, there's something dripping. I was picking at it on the back, reaching around the cross member, and it's starting to come out. Let's give it some more wiggle action. When you get some coolant to move, that coolant will start to kind of work as a lubricant. I think we're getting her. Oh yeah. Hope so, because there's coolant running down my arm. There she goes. Woohoo, that was more violenter than I wanted it to be. Yeah. Oh no, my hat. My hat's gonna get coolanted. There we go. All right. So the hose is removed. Got it. There's the bottom of our water pump. Let me get out of here and change my shirt. Yeah, I'm a little dirty now. Look at that. There's coolant in my arm. Whatever that is. Yucky. There. The glove's torn up pretty bad too. Okay, I think I have most of this hose disconnected from everything that needs to be disconnected from. So I'm gonna try to pull this thing out through this wheel well over here. Let's see how this is gonna work. It's either gonna come right out or it's not. Let's see what we get out of this thing. Yeah, that's probably gonna be a knot. Looks like there's some kind of brackets hanging onto it on the frame rail there. Going back down below. Let's see what's holding us up. I'll bring a pick with me. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, messy, yeah? I'd never let you work on my truck rolling around making a mess like that. Yeah, there's really nothing. Nah, there's nothing holding on to it. It's just a series of tight squeezes, I think. Yeah, it's moving around. Okay. I guess I just need to give it a harder tug, see what happens. Two-handed operation, maybe. Or perhaps it has to come out through the top up here through this opening, because it does hook around and form that little loop business. Maybe I'll try to pull it up through this way. Let's try that. Let's see. Here it kind of comes. And it stopped again. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it all the way up through here. Let's do that. Yeah, this is gonna be fun to put back in later. That's for certain. Hook a cherry picker to it and yank it out. Maybe that's the way. Brute force the thing out of the hole. Or I need to take some more stuff off, like the boost pipe. Well, whatever I gotta do, it's slowly coming out of there. Yep. Yeah, there we go. There was a piece of plastic bracket holding us up. Okay. Let me see if we're getting hung up down here again. Let's see what's in the way. Yeah, that plastic bracket right there is getting stuck. See the little guy? So we need to push that through or take it apart completely. Yeah, there's a little bracket that holds the two sections of hose together. Let's pry that apart. Unclick you, bracket. Okay. Whew, getting tired. The problem down there is that this section does not fit between the idler arm bracket and the piece of the radiator shroud. So I was down there with like a little pry bar, kind of working it up and through, and I think I've got the thing out enough where I can finish pulling this through. Yeah, putting this back in, that'll be interesting, because I'll have to push it through and I won't be able to pull it through. Pulling's easier because there's tension on the hoses, but trying to push it, I don't know. Might have to pull it from down below. It's coming out. When I get the thing out of the way, I'm gonna be able to really see what was the hang up the whole time. Maybe I've got to take something else off. Ow. Got it. Whew, buddy, look at this thing. What a mess. Big old honking piece of hose. Okay, so let's do the side-by-side comparison. Make sure that this is the correct component. And I believe that's pretty good. Yeah, let's see, this goes up there a bunch. I think I'll take these brackets off and put them back on later. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, yeah, that fits, it matches up. Radiator side, water pump side, bypass hoses. Okay, well, that's good. That's real good. Whew. Yeah, it's just a stupid tight squeeze in there to get the thing out. Yeah, right there. There's the, all the way at the bottom, little black void area, right next to that blue towel on the left. That is the pinch zone where I couldn't fit that one fitting through. But we got it. So now I need to go ahead and start feeding that new one down in position, and we'll get it all connected and hooked up, then we can refill the coolant. Yay! I need a break. Okay, let's get this thing completed as best as we can. And I'm gonna try one thing. I'm wondering if maybe it might be easier if I try to shove this thing up through that hole rather than trying to shove this entire assembly down through that hole. I'm gonna try it that way and see if that works out. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Yeah, maybe trying this from this angle, you guys can see just how tight of a squeeze this little corner is right here. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna find out. Oh yeah, yeah, so you've gotta kind of bend the hoses to straighten them out. Come on now, get in here. This actually might work out. Here, I'm reaching around the frame rail to kind of guide that nozzle through. I don't know, guys. This might be an error in judgment. I oiled my creeper wheels. They're not squeaking anymore. There. Yeah. Okay, well, it's wedged in there pretty nice now. I need to rotate it. There's a little fitting on the end of this business over here getting me caught up. Let's give it a twist. Dirt. I don't think so. I think if I shove it in any harder, I'm gonna break something. That's not going to work by my calculations here. Okay, failure, epic fail. So now we're gonna have to go back up top here and just push this thing in the way that it came out, I guess. Okay, let's figure this out now. Okay, we're going in through the fender well. Let's see how we how this fares for us here. Didn't get very far, did I? Going back down below, I'm gonna try to pull it through. Okay, it moved a little bit more. Okay, I've got one of those fittings through. Little T fittings that are there. Got one through. All right. Back up top. You don't see why we're not going. Hang on. You rotate it around. It's upside down right now. Get that in position. Okay. I'm pulling again from the bottom. Here we go. Well, shucks, that's easy. Look at that. Just coming right through. Okay. Time to, I know you guys couldn't see much, sorry. Time to reevaluate here. So, let's see what we've got. Ultimately, this is gonna have to point like that way. We're sort of getting somewhere. I might have pulled it through too far. Yeah, I did. Flashlight. I think we're pretty close here on how that's supposed to land. And this one, let's see here. So that's my end. It goes up to the water pump. So then this hose is going to go back through that opening over there above the idler arm bracket for the steering. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to take this guy and just kind of shove it on that water pump for a second. I need to take it back off later to get the clamp on, but at least now it's located in its correct position. Okay. This goes on that side. Little bypass hose right there. You guys can't see it. Yeah, that goes on that side. So we should be kind of lining up how it's supposed to go here. Sort of. This one's going to go up to that overflow bottle. Just plug that in real quick. Okay. Then this one, we're getting really close here. That one there that my finger is on that you can barely see, that's going to plug into this guy. So we just need to get this little section here oriented and aligned properly. We're going to get it orientated. I think the best way to do that would be to just go ahead and connect the hose to the radiator. We've got to get it a little farther to snap it on, but I won't do that just yet. We need to get that one last bypass hose in there, pulled up and in position. Is this thing gonna fit? So I've got that on the wrong side of the main hose there. See that? Push it down right here. Or do I? Yeah, we're gonna do it just like this. Oh, I think we pretty much got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, let's get some things snapped into position here and see how it all locks down. Rolling around. Need illumination. There. Lubricant. Gonna need some more lubricant. Here we'll go in with some dielectric on that. That was a lot. It squirted out with incredible velocity. Smear it around. Yeah. Dang. Don't tell me you're not gonna fit. We're not doing that. Yeah, no. We're not doing that at all. Get behind it, try to put some weight on it. There we go. That's on. So hey, you in the other video when I started taking this apart, you guys were wondering why they don't just have a gravity. Why it's not just a like a regular hose clamp, and what is the purpose of this this fitting and whatnot? And the answer is pressure. See, these diesels under load, they make quite a bit of heat, and with heat comes some pressure. That's on. With heat comes some pressure. And the engineers have found that the regular style hose clamps on occasion can slip off and come apart. So they engineered this plastic type of collar right here in order to really lock this thing into place so it can't pop off of there. And I do realize that this side over here does have a regular slip-on style hose, but I think the difference is going to be in the casting shape that's on the bottom of that water pump down there. We'll get to it in a minute when we go to put this this clamp on the other section of that hose. But first, I want to get the smaller pieces together. So let's get that hose set up with its clamp right here first. Ooh, dropped it. Okay, so I've got the clamp from the old hose on some hose clamp pliers here. What I'll do is slip that over. There, no one can see anything. It's dark in here. Slide that over like so. And then we'll pull, uh-oh. Pull that up. Okay, that one's clamped on. Hope you guys can see in the low light conditions going on here. So let me go fetch the other clamp for that fitting right there, and we'll get that one on, and then we'll go back down below and connect this thing to the water pump. Okay, so this one coming in with the hose clamp. And release. There we go. Okay, easy part's done. Let's go do the big clamp down on the water pump outlet down below. Real quick note before we go down there into that dungeon, I wanted to touch a little bit of base on that weld that I did on the manifold earlier. I was reading the comments on the first video on that weld, and everybody was asking me, why don't I just drill that and tap it and put a bolt in it? And the reality is I didn't feel I needed to put a bolt in it. Number one, a bolt sticking through is going to be an exhaust restriction. Number two, the hole welded up just fine. Number three, I didn't want to try to tap it and then put like a bung in there, because that metal was very thin in that location. It was not thick at all. And my concern about that was heat cycling. So if you've got two dissimilar metals inside of there, like a bolt or a bung or something of that nature, what I didn't want it to do was expand and contract at different rates and ultimately crack and then ruin the manifold again. So I felt that just welding that hole shut was going to be the easiest way to do it, and it worked just fine. It's minimal risk and minimal cost, and I think that that's okay. So I hope that answers you guys' questions on why I didn't just do this, that, or that, and I hope that satisfies the naysayers out there that were wondering. And I don't say naysayers in a bad or negative way. Those are legitimate questions. I just felt like that was the easiest way to accomplish the goal there. So let's get this clamp back inside on this hose. And while we're here, I can show you that the shape of that pump outlet. It's got this huge flare on it right here, and that flare is I think the reason that we can just use a straight on hose rather than the type with the little clips and whatnot. I know y'all say you can't weld, you know, the cast iron. Yeah, you can, because I did, and the cast iron worked, so I'm pretty sure that that is fine. Now the real question is do I clamp this clamp the same way and then fight this little blade here on the fan shroud with my tool, or do I flip it around and clamp it this way and get more space? I'm gonna go with, well, I'm gonna do it the way it came, like that, because if someone needs to get this shroud out in the future and I have this clamp this way, it's gonna be in the way of that shroud, and that's really, really gonna upset somebody. And that somebody could possibly be me. So I think I'll put this together the exact way that I found it. That's probably the best little move right here. So let me just wiggle this guy into position here. Oh, get in there. More wiggling. There, that'll do it. And again, we're coming in with this super tiny little ratchet. This might be more funner. I wonder if I can just turn that at a slight angle and reach it from the back side. Let me move you guys a little bit, I'll show you. Yes, I think I'll put it on just like that. That should do. You know, I'm gonna get real slick with this. Make this super easy on myself. I have an idea. Yeah, you guys know what I'm about to do. As long as it fits. What's FedEx say, or whoever? If it fits, it ships. We're gonna ship it. That's not gonna work. No, I thought I was gonna be slick, but I'm incorrect. Nope, doing it the hard way. Epic, good idea, failure. Oh. Okay. I can't see anything this time around. Nope. Almost had it. There's a lot of slack in that and that clamp as well. The other clamp was kind of molded, or this clamp on the other hose was kind of molded into the rubber, and I had to cut that piece of rubber away in order to retrieve the clamp. And I'm reusing this clamp because I'm certain that this is a better clamp than a traditional worm gear style clamp. Although that may be a worm gear style clamp, the clamping body for the worm gear is much larger than a regular one, so we're reusing this one. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm going to reach in and just hang on to that clamp so it can't move. Get it with the second hand here and just work that thing, and it came off. Yeah. It'd take me longer to run this clamp down than it did to put the hose in. Oops. I have an idea. Watch this. Put the screwdriver in there. Use the screwdriver to hold against the ratchet. Yeah. You guys, look. Look, 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 look. You see it? See it right there? Right there. See him? Little vampire. Worthless creature. Got him. Evil mosquito. You made a mistake. And it cost him dearly. He was trespassing on foreign soil. He had no business being here. Okay, now back to what I was doing. I hope his friends come. I'm ready for war. Ready to fight the good fight. Yeah, okay. It's feeling pretty tight. Let's give it a tug. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna try to get it a little tighter. I'm getting noodle arm as well. Noodle arm is the worst. Come on. Oh, the burn. I'm feeling it. Oh, it's hurting now. One more quarter turn and we're good. Got it. All right. That's it. I've had enough. Okay, that's enough of that business. That hose is on, connected, in position here. This is awesome. So let's get this air intake put back together. Put the filter thing on. I'm gonna go hose that filter off. Where did I do that filter? Where are you? Oh, there it is. Down here. Yeah, I'm gonna go hose this out, clean it up some. It's pretty clogged and dirty. And then we'll put the hose and everything back together. And then refill this thing with some coolant. Alrighty, so the big intake tube is coming back in. Slide this thing in position here. Clamp it on up here, and then we have to bolt it down. Come on now. I don't want to fight anymore with hoses. I really don't. I'm running out of muscular strength here for this kind of business. It's bothering me. Flipping thank you. Nope. The rubber around this is kind of folding in and it's not going over this intake horn. Take it apart more. Pulling things apart is one thing. Pushing them back together is a completely different scenario. Yeah, see? That was easy. There. Good. So, let's get this guy tight. Okay. So then, let's see here. I think what I should be doing is getting these bolts lined up first before I tighten that clamp. Yeah, let's do that. They're all three down right there. And that's 2 units. There we go. I've already hosed out the filter. It's outside in the sun drying out. So just took a garden hose to it and rinsed out all the dirt. It's the mass airflow connector. We need that. Okay, that's good. Now I can refill some coolant. I am going to have to go back in down below and connect this little clamp business right here so these two hoses are hooked together. Yeah, I've got to pull this guy apart and get that hooked up too. I know you guys had noticed that I did not connect that thing yet. I figured it'd be easier to put that in after the fact, because this thing was a major problem. I'm gonna do that later. That was a major problem in getting that hose out of there. But yeah, I did not forget it and I won't neglect it. But let's keep going. I want to get coolant in this thing and then fire it up and then leak check it. Okay, beginning pouring things procedure now. Coolant coming in. It's gold, so you know it's good. think we're going to use about 4 or maybe even 5 gallons here, because pretty much this entire system has been drained out. Glug. Alright, so it's starting to purge a lot of air. We need to go ahead and open up the bleeder valve on top of the thermostat housing right there. I think that's going to be a 12mm wrench. See that guy right there? Let's go ahead and open that up real fast. That way all the air can purge. See if I can get in there without taking stuff apart. Unclick. Oh, it's tight. Come on. No, that's not gonna work. It's running into some stuff. I know. I'll use a crow's foot. 12mm of crow's foot. There we go. Yeah, see why they call it a crow's foot? Because it's like a foot for a crow. Caw-caw. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Reach around. Nope. Let's do it from the back side. I got it right here. Unclickage. Okay, it has turned. Very good. I'll unthread this some and just leave it loose so air can bleed its way out. In the meantime, got a couple more gallons of coolant to dump in there. More gurgling. That's 3 gallons. Another gallon numero 4. It's still gurgling. Oh, there's a back of a bucket in your face. Sorry, guys. Where are we at here? 4 gallons? Is this number 4? I think this is 4. I've lost count. Okay, the bottle's starting to hold some fluid here. So we're at 3.5, nothing out of the overflow yet. I'm going to go ahead, restart the engine, and we're going to let that level go down, and we're waiting for some coolant to come out of the bleeder valve right up here on top. Let's see what cranking speed feels like or sounds like after doing the battery work and doing the recharge. So I know those batteries were low. Beginning engine restarting cranking sequence now. See some coolant at the valve right here. I don't want to take that all the way out. Squeezing the hose to try to start pushing the air in and out. Actually might have to pull that all the way out. It could be preventing air from moving. got to keep the level in the bottle higher than the level of that drain valve over there. So as this coolant starts to circulate and the air purges out, I want all of it to make its way out of the valve there. You see I added quite a bit, so the level has been going down. Bubbles coming out, see that? Okay, let's let it hang out for a little while. I'm gonna let the thing warm up some, and I'm going to come back and recheck it when we start to get some coolant flow out of that purge valve right there. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, yeah, probably 15, and this thing is still cool to the touch. I do have coolant circulation here. The reason I say this is still cool to the touch is we haven't really put any load on this engine to really put any heat into anything. Folks in the other video, the first one on this truck here, they were asking why did I feel it was okay to run the engine when I did the electrical system testing. Why was it okay to run the engine without any coolant in the system? And I can tell you that's because a diesel engine is extremely efficient at heat management. So even though there wasn't any coolant, nothing was overheated. It wasn't even up to something of an operating temperature. Yeah, look at here, 15 something minutes of runtime, and we're not even up to 180 degrees yet. So these things are so efficient at heat management and getting heat out of the engine because they're designed to use all of that combustion energy into the transfer of mechanical energy rather than turning it into heat energy. Now, yes, under load, we start really cranking up some heat because we're converting so much chemical energy into mechanical energy. That byproduct of heat does build up, hence the gigantic cooling system with the 6-gallon capacity, things of that nature. But running this thing for 3, 4, maybe even 10 minutes with no coolant in there, nothing is actually going to come up to a temperature where it's going to come close to causing any damage. That is why I felt it's completely comfortable to run this thing without coolant in the engine for the time that I was testing all the components. So I hope that answers those folks' questions on the matter. So now I want to get this thing out on the road real quick. We're going to put some heat into it, let the cooling system build up. I closed the bleeder valve, I put the cap back on. I went down below and put those little plastic clips on the hoses, and I also put in that 13mm bolt that secured one of the wiring looms that was on the passenger side frame rail. I did that stuff when you guys weren't looking. So that stuff is back together. I'll also put the air filter element back on as well. Actually, real quick before we go anywhere, I'm gonna power brake this some and see if we can't hear another boost leak. Okay, we're coming up. I hear the turbo going to work. I don't hear a boost leak. Okay. Might have been back. Ooh, wait, I thought I heard something. It might have another leak somewhere. We'll check that out in a little while. I did hear some action going on. Oh, I know what I heard. You hear that? I heard the brake booster. That was that sound that I was hearing. It wasn't actually a boost leak. I mean, I'm still gonna check it for a boost leak because that was one of the concerns, but kind of hard to find a boost leak with that ginormous exhaust manifold leak. So we will check that again when I return on this test drive, or from this test drive. Okay, temp's coming up a little bit. That's right around normal temp. So I figured by the time we go up and over the bridge, and get back to the shop, we should have some pressure built up in the cooling system, and then I can properly purge that air out of that thermostat housing. That's the plan. All right, we're off. Feeling pretty good. Voltage is up. Temperature's climbing. Got good oil pressure. Good. Kind of a rough ride though. Might be the wheels and tires. Yep, don't hear much of a boost leak. Okay. Good. Yep, we're up to temp. This is perfect. So since we are up to temp and the system is closed, I can crack that valve open. We'll bleed the rest of the air out. It should be collecting at the top of that thermostat housing. So I'm thinking, hanging out here at this red light, I'm thinking about everybody talking about putting in a bung again or a bolt into that intake. And I have to wonder, had I put a bolt into that and then either tapped it and threaded it, which we went over earlier, I didn't feel that that metal was thick enough really to get enough threads in for a tap. Plus, if I had tapped it, again, it could have introduced some metal shards into the inside of that manifold. And again, doing that, it's gonna hit the turbo, which again is why I didn't want to do that. But I have to wonder, if I had put a bolt in and then welded that, aside from the obvious exhaust flow restriction that would have been there, would everybody have been commenting on why didn't you just weld the hole shut? Like I'm almost wondering if it's damned if I do or damned if I don't, because there's so much blowback that happened in that comment section over welding up a hole, and it seemed disproportionate to me, and I don't get why. I just don't get it. Like, I'm confused. I see nothing wrong with welding that hole up, but everybody else did. I mean, I don't know what I'm missing here. Can someone let me know? I really, and I'm genuinely asking, I don't know what I'm missing on that. But like I said, there's a lot of reaction on that particular situation, and I feel it's fine, and it's gonna be fine, and it's not gonna break, and the weld's not gonna fall out of it, and it's not just, it's not a cast iron stove, it's an exhaust manifold, and you can weld an exhaust manifold. I've been welding exhaust manifolds for a decade and a half, and never had a problem with it. So I don't get the blowback on it. Same thing with the batteries being connected when I welded. So I got the negative right here for the ground lead on the welder, and then right next to it there's the hole. Now electricity is going to travel in the shortest path possible, so the only electrical circuit that was made was between the clamp and the hole. The PCM on the other side of the vehicle is not going to get blown up from me welding on that manifold, nor is the alternator, because as we are driving around with a functional charging system, the alternator is alternating just fine, and the PCM is also PCMing just fine. So, you know, maybe that's a myth. Maybe it used to be that way, but I can tell you, I have never, ever, not one single time, damaged a module by doing a short path weld with a MIG welder. It's never happened. You know, I welded a drain plug one time because it was all rounded off, and I put the clamp like right on the drain pan, and then I welded the plug. And folks were going nuts saying that I was striking an arc through the main bearings in the crankshaft and it was going to wipe out a bearing. But how is the electricity going to flow through the bearings on the crank when the path is literally like 6 inches, right here to right here? It's not going to go over there for no reason, or over here, or run through a bunch of modules. It's just not going to work that way. To me, that's almost as valid as saying that you can't have two cars that are hooked together with jumper cables because the alternators will work against each other and blow each other up. That doesn't happen. Those things just do not happen unless you do it wrong. You know, if I were to, let's say I were to connect the negative side of the welder to the battery terminal, or the other side of the car, or the bumper bracket, and then weld it over here on the other side, that electricity is going to travel all through that entire vehicle, and I could see that that could damage something, but again, with that short path connection that was made between the end of that manifold on the bolts and the hole that's on the manifold, there is no room for things to be destroyed. And I'm driving the car that you guys said I'm destroying, so there's really no validity to those claims. I don't understand why we hang on to old information as if it's gospel when I just don't believe that that's true. It just isn't, and I proved it when I performed that operation. End of my reaction to reactions. Now, put this thing in park. Let me re-pop the hood here, and we're gonna go open up that valve with the Pro Foot and see if we get a bunch of air. Still 200 something, some change degrees. Oh, and folks were asking why we would be driving with no grill. It probably got broken. I mean, think about it. We got this big bumper guard cattle pusher thing right here. Maybe they hit a deer once and broke the grill and then put this thing on here. I don't know. It's a worn out old truck. Things get broken. Yeah, we're hot here. That's up to temp. So, give that bottle a shake. I think the level went down some. Okay, back to the bleeder. Cracker open here. And we've got some coolant flowing. Just a little bit. I didn't see much. Okay, yeah, no air. And by the way, this is a closed system, so if there is air, it can make its way into this bottle right here as well. If pressure comes up, it'll open up the valve inside of the cap, and it can vent through the side of that bottle. Yeah, there's the coolant. There we go. Pop this guy open. See, I told you I put the filter on. Alright, yeah, she went down a little bit. Let me go grab another gallon and we'll refill that the rest of the way. Okay, this thing's getting pretty full. I think we're up to 4 gallons or maybe 4 and some change. I lost count. Okay, Dave's in the cabin. He's gonna power brake this some. Hey, just bring it up some and then hold it there. Okay, we gotta let the turbo spool up. Yep. Come on up. Bring it up, bring it up. Keep coming up. Where are you at, about 2,000? Where is it? Oh. Try to give me 18. Let me grab the scan tool, and where are you, scanner? I'm gonna grab the scan tool and we're gonna see if I can find a PID for the boost readings. Alrighty, so I've been scrolling through some of this data here, and I cannot locate a desired boost pressure and an actual boost pressure reading. My scan tool just doesn't, it's not gonna give me that information. So I can't really determine based on scan tool data if in fact there is a boost leak, but I don't hear it, and we do not have any kind of trouble code stating that we are underperforming our boost situation, meaning the turbo has a leak somewhere. So I do not believe that there is another leak on this induction side of this engine. Real quick, I'm going to go in there and check for trouble codes. Maybe there's something pending. And if not, I think we're going to be all good on this this section of this vehicle's repair. I do have to replace that steering gear that's blown out down below because there's all that power steering fluid leaking out of it. Yep, no codes present. but I had to order that unit, and it's gonna take a couple days to get here. So guys, having said all that, I have nothing more to offer you in this particular video. Let me know what you think about this this hose situation and this vehicle in the comment section down below. Do not forget to tap that like button while you're down there, and most importantly, have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you on the next one, in a video, in a transmission. Let's make it nice and shiny. Yeah, get rid of all that nasty. You can't do that. Goodbye for now, GMC Sierra.